Hey, what's going on? Justin here, and today I wanted to look at, I tried to do 10, but I got it down to 13. 13 sets that I think have a realistic chance of being made. Not just my favorite sets, because even the last time it was like 20 something, like there's still more. There are so many great sets for Series 9, but I think that not all of them have a realistic shot of getting made, whether it's because they resemble the architecture theme too much, or maybe it's just not what Lego has typically selected. And I could absolutely be wrong. I was wrong on the sushi restaurant because they hadn't done something like that. And they kind of just said, hey, let's go this route. So I could be wrong completely, and none of these get picked, but I do hope out of this 5 get picked, because not only would I like to be right, but I like all these sets. So we're going to go through 13 real quick and just look a little deeper. And so, all right, some of these I did mention in my last video because I do think they have a realistic chance, and I'll explain why as we go through. And remember, tomorrow is the last day on October 17th for voting. So go in and vote and get that done. And that way, if you do like a set, vote on it. And you know, maybe it'll get picked. I don't know how Lego really does things behind the scene, because if everybody picked the top 5 sets were castles, they're not going to do 5 castles. So I don't know how it's broken up behind the scenes, but you know, just go vote for what you like. First up, again, the Winter Cottage by 11 Mox. I love this one. Again, I mentioned the roof, and I can't mention it enough. I think the roof is fantastic. Lego did not and is not giving us a winter village building this year. They're giving us the train. So I think that they could supplement that, and they could fill that void for people who want an extra winter kind of village building for their village. And I think that this absolutely does that. I think this Santa with the black mustaches is pretty interesting take on going with Santa. I don't know if he's like a bank robber Santa or something like that, because he looks different, but cool. Again, the roof is amazing. The way that they're doing these Christmas lights is great. It looks like they light up. I'm not sure if there's a light brick going on, but we'll look a little deeper. The minifigs are cool. Nothing we haven't seen before, maybe just not these combinations. Here you go. Here's the inside. I think this looks great. Like the family pictures, the kitchen going on, it's a really big kitchen, both sides. It does have the Technic pins, or the holes, so you can, I guess, potentially connect this or buy 2 and put them back to back. And I think that would probably look really cool. So great overall. Love the detail. There's tons of detail in this one, which I like, because not all of the BDP sets have a lot of detail on the inside. So I think it's cool that they did go with the detail. They got probably a Santa letter here on the bed with the kids up there, the kid jumping up on the chair with a candle holder, menorah, I'm not sure. Christmas going on down here, Christmas light. You got the stocking over the tree. It's really, really cool. Hiding presents or something underneath the floor, doing lights. You got Santa on top. Just a lot of stuff going on. I don't think it said if it had a light brick in it. No, it says no real lights are included in these models. So again, this scene right here is just to kind of, I guess, hey, these are Christmas lights, which cool. But overall, I still think this is great. Again, if you want to look back at round 3, it was the Winter Chalet, and it got picked. So there's nothing that says we can't get a Winter Village set. And especially since we're only getting a train this year, maybe this gets picked. 11 Mox, great job. Really love this one. 2,200 pieces. I think this could come in around the $200 mark, maybe $175 if Lego's wanting to be friendly. Next up, we have Surf Studs by Jack Thud. The reason I like this is not because of the base. I personally wouldn't use the base. I would be putting this onto my beach scene, most likely in my city, but I really like this big sticker on the side. It's something we haven't gotten before, so that's neat to get a new sticker. This would probably be a sticker here. The chalkboard. I wish there was some writing on it, but I understand, why they didn't. Maybe it's just to say Reynolds. On the side of this, I really love the use of the chain to hold up the surfboards. The guy using the wax on the surfboards, really nice little touch. and it just shows a little more thought went into what's going on. I like the texturing and the detail on top of the roof with the grate pieces to kind of just give, you know, more texture. I think this is a really cool little set. I think it's packed with detail on the inside. Whether it's probably a cupcake, you got a coffee maker, you got some snacks over here, some waffles, a couple minifigs, dude eating, girl riding the Vespa, guy with the hot dog, and a crab wearing a pirate hat. So there's that. This reminds me of the Snack Shack. Again, that's why this could get picked, because the Snack Shack was picked. This is 815 pieces. I'd have to look back on what the Snack Shack was. I want to say it was maybe a little bit more than this, but not sure. This could easily come in at $60, and it would sell a ton, just like Snack Shack did. There'd be a lot of people who would buy two, and you could make one a surf shop, and you can make one something else if you really wanted to, or just have a couple surf shops if you have a lot of beach area. Overall, I like this, so I think there's precedence for this to get picked. I like how the trees are built. I like these kind of palm tree look on this. There's like 10 different ways to do palm trees. This is a cool new way that I haven't personally seen or paid attention to, and maybe I just missed it. But yeah, overall, cool little set. Would absolutely buy it. Then we have the Sunset Hotel. We have the boutique hotel that is retiring. So this would fill a void if you wanted to. It gives us a completely different vibe of like Miami Vice type thing, especially like older Miami and things like that. I don't know, it gives me Scarface vibes. And we don't have something that's necessarily doing this. I like this because, again, we can't do modular buildings, so everything has to have either an open back or some type of hinged back, to where this is always how it's going to look. It's either going to be split into two, or in this case, it's split into three. And I like that. I think it's cool to have it open up. It does. It creates more depth on the front end side, and then less depth on the parts that are opening when you do it into three pieces, especially if you don't cut it right down the middle. I like that this side's used to show elevator doors, and this one's it's just used for part of a room. But the majority of the people are going to have it like this. I think when it's closed, it looks fantastic. If you really wanted to, the other thing I like about this is, well, I'd have to look from the side. Well, here's the hinges, okay, down here on the bottom. If you wanted to, and you just wanted to modularize this, you just take out those hinge pieces and you just put a brick there and you're good to go. It won't open anymore. But if you don't care and you're not going to play with it and get in there and open it, like I would not, I would just replace those with a couple bricks and leave this shut. But it can easily be modularized. You just build it on a base plate instead. But all of the detailing going on up top, and like the storytelling up here with the pool. Some cool minifigs. I don't know where this one's from with the stars on his shirt. That's a new one to me. This one we saw in just a previous build. I want to say it was the winter kind of shack, the winter house one. Ice machine's cool. A lot of storytelling with the bellhop going on the inside. I think this is a fantastic build. Nice little car. But again, this looks fantastic. It's as close to modular as we're going to get. Again, just swap out those hinges, put some bricks there, and you're good to go. And there's the hinges on the top too. Yeah, overall great. It's 2,500 pieces. I would put this around the $200 mark, $210 mark, depending on Lego, by Distracted Builder. Great set. I like it. Next up, we have the amazing Brick Circus by Yagamax. I don't think we have a precedence for something like this to get built, but I love it. We don't have anything necessarily like circus related, so I think it's really cool if we do. I know in the siege encampment we had the circus, not circus, but they had like those tents that you can say, okay, this is similar to, but this is a circus vibe. The sticker on the front is great. The guy using, used the brick pieces to show like the guy on the stilts. I think this looks really cool. This would slot in, to somebody's city if they really wanted to, or at a park or something like that. Great minifigs. Just a really cool, simple little build. And a ton of storytelling with the balloon animal stuck in the tree. Love that. Yeah, I mean, there's not so much going on the inside that it needs to be huge. I like that it's another small build that we can get to fit in under a sub $100 price point. I like the guy using the tightrope, I think, or slackline, one of the two. You got some room to put some minifigs to watch him do it. He looks scared. You got some of the weights for the strongman. A lot of cool stuff. You can take it apart and really get in there. But yeah, overall, nice little build. 1,000 pieces. So yeah, this could be $80, and it's just fun and a lot of color. So good build. Another smaller build, the Lifeguard Tower by Brick Up. Again, I mentioned this one before. I mentioned this one last series. I still love this. I still want a Lifeguard Tower. It's 835 pieces, so it's not a big build. We can get this for $60. Again, another small build that's fantastic and needed. We don't really have this unless you're buying something older. You're buying something from like the Friends line and you're kind of adjusting it, and even still, it's not even close to this. This is on its own level of, in the photography and things like this, and how you're doing this is great. You know, using real backgrounds with the Lego. I think it looks really cool. We need this, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of cities I've seen on YouTube that have beach areas, and nobody has a lifeguard hut or lifeguard shack or tower like this. You could remove the blue plates and just smack this right on the sand, or you can put it like that. I mean, there's so many ways to add this into your beach, and absolutely, yeah, 100% would absolutely get this. Then we have the Cozy Crops Farm Store. The reason I picked this one is because it's a cool little building, for one, but we just had the antique shop that had a similar vibe. And this, again, by Tailor Made Brick. So there's a chance this gets made because of that. We don't have, the Cozy Cottage, I think in the 3-in-1 line is retiring, or did retire in July. Maybe it's still for sale. July sale retirements are always kind of weird, but this can definitely fill a void of some like Cozy Cottage, something you can put, if you have the treehouse, the A-frame, and all of the other outdoor type builds that Lego has been choosing. This can kind of slot in to be there. And it's 2,600 pieces, so this could be around the $225 mark, $200 mark. Tons of storytelling going on side. You have some honey, some strawberry jam, some blueberry jam, or jellies. I don't know the difference between jams and jellies. So this is great. I really like this more than the antique shop personally, because I mean it's similar in the sense that yeah, the roof comes off, stuff like that. But I just have more. I like this more. I don't know why. I just do. Maybe it's the side build looks good, and this is just a little easier to slot in. But if the antique shop was picked and I bought that, yeah, I would absolutely buy this. So this I think has a chance. An Abyssal Knights World Legends of Wreckstone. Again, still a mouthful of a name, but still one of my favorite castle builds. And there are so many castles that were submitted, and basically all of them are great. If you submitted a castle and you just like other castles more than you like this one, I can justify a lot of different castles of why they should get picked. The reason I'm picking this one is because it's so different. It's so unique. It doesn't just, so the what is it? The Mountain Fortress, the one with the snow on it, that was series 1, is fantastic. Huge, looks great, and is like a very just powerful, when it sits on the shelf, it draws your attention. I think this is, it does that, but it doesn't. It allows for more, I can look nice, but you can also get in there and you can play with this set. There's a lot of play going on. You have the sea monster, you have the ship on the side, this glider going on up here, somebody's trying to shoot them down. There's more play in this. And I think that BDP should not just be display models. I think there should be play models. And again, the front of this with the Kraken and the tentacles and stuff, I think is so unique because nobody else is doing that. If you look at all of the other Kraken builds, nobody else is doing that. They're using the Kraken in some sort of way, but they're not making it feel just like the castle is speaking, like the castle has its own presence. And that's what I think that this does very well. Again, there's a lot of play going on. You can get in there, um, doing all these things. If you wanted to have like the glider up there, you can use like clear pieces and stuff like that to you know, simulate flight. Ton of minifigs. It's nice to get all of these, you know, these factions. We got some horses. We got a lot of shields. Tons of stuff. I think it's great. How this comes apart, all of the Technic pins, that just means it's going to hold all of these side pieces in better. With all of these kind of supports going on throughout the inside, it's going to be more sturdy and stable, because that's also a problem that people have with other sets, is stability. So I think that this gives you that stability. It gives you the modularization to get in there and play. You have these play features. You have all of these minifigs. So yeah, I think this is a great one. This is again by Admiralty Brick, and it's 4,000 pieces. So this would come in around that $350, $365 price point. But minifig selection, storytelling, to me, it's just one of my favorite castles. I try not to overdo this with castles too much, because there's so many to choose from. So I just tried to pick one that I think has a chance to get built, and I think is just so unique and different than all of the other castles. So great job on that. The Fisherman Village by Rock and Bricks. Again, I was trying to talk last time about what I compared this to, and it was the old fishing store, and I kind of stumbled through trying to figure out what that was. I could not remember, but this gives me those vibes with how it's propped up, how the buildings are propped up. And again, you can put this along a beach next to the old fishing store, which mine is kind of close to the water, so these would help kind of connect it and create a walkway to the old fishing store. You have this little lighthouse that sits out in the water. Or no, it's connected here, but they have things like that, I guess buoys more so, that bob around out in the water, but it does connect there. That's just a white background. All of the buildings, they're so cool. There's so much detail. And again, this one has all of the Easter eggs with what could be the old fishing store, the lighthouse, the Titanic, the Endurance, so many things. So there's a ton of storytelling. I don't know. I love this one. I don't see any faults. Okay, here we have the ship in a bottle. So it was the old fishing store, Endurance, the Globe, the Titanic, and the lighthouse. So even cooler to go in and do that. I think this is just an amazing build, and I really hope it gets picked, because I'm buying 2 of those, and yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So great job, Rockin' Bricks. Here we have the Dragon Attack by TLG. A dragon gets submitted every single series, and it never gets picked for whatever reason. So that's kind of why I threw it in here. Maybe Lego's going to be like, okay, people want this now. People have been wanting it. Maybe it's time we give the people what they want. It looks like there's a lot of articulation with the legs. I think that's maybe what that's simulating. All of these white dots. Let's see. Yeah, it says there's rotation, and it explains it here. So there is a lot of articulation and movement, so you can make him kind of doing whatever you need to. I love this pose. It would be amazing to get a dragon like this. We don't have anything like that. 2,500 pieces, so about a $200 set. Really great. Yeah, and it's dragon. We kind of need one. Bricksterdam by Doc Louise Jones. 3,400 pieces, so probably coming close into that $270 to $300 price point. I still love this one because of how the building is kind of tipped over here, and how this can connect to the Italian Riviera or the Venice set, if you happen to have that from maybe it was round 2 before the series, again back in the rounds. So I think this is great, and I would buy 2 of these without question. 2 of them, and I would just line them up next to each other just like that almost, and it would look great. And again, or you can have it like this, and it's just the fact that you can change this up to look different is why I love the bookstore modular set, because you didn't have to just have one building. You can split it into 2 different pieces and move it around the city as you want. Here you can put the bridge in the middle, on the sides. So I really, really like that option. I think it's great. So I hope this gets picked. There's so much, again, storytelling going on from the back. If you look like this, like it's self-enclosed, so you can just have this on display, but this is going to fit into basically almost anybody's city. And the ability to do that, I think it's basically Legos printing money for themselves, because this is a lock and a slam dunk to sell well, because if they like the Italian Riviera, then they should see the value here, because it's absolutely there. Great set. Here we have the Tortilla Sunrise Tacos by Brick and Mortar. Again, this one goes back to some of the smaller sets of this would look great on a beach. There's a lot of storytelling, and it adds so much storytelling to your beach. This is a 962 piece set, which means it's going to come in around $65, $75. And yeah, I mean, I don't think they miss with this. I think it's a small set, and the small sets tend to sell well because there's so much you can do with them. Or it's somebody saying, hey, you know, like, I need one of these for my city. Or, hey, I just need a small build, and I think doing something with tacos is fun. So yeah, absolutely would buy this one too. Great storytelling, just like the Snack Shack. Like, this would slot into a beach, and they have storytelling going all around the back with a cactus holding a guitar. I mean, this is fantastic. I love it. For being less than 1,000 pieces, I think they did a great job. And he does have another set. So if you want to go look at that, he did put in 2 sets that I know of. And yeah, great sets. We have the Island by Brick Up. 2,258 pieces. So again, maybe around $180-ish dollars. They've done sets similar to this, whether it was a couple series ago, and it was a part of a 3-part series that somebody did, and you had the ocean house, and you had the windmill, and then you had some type of tower. I can't remember what it was, and that's what kind of vibes this gives me. But I think this is much more wide-ranged friendly of what you can do with this, whether you put it in like a pirate village or something like that, or just along the water in your city. So I think that this is really cool. I don't know. It kind of gives slightly, I don't know. It's just a unique set that they've done similar stuff to this. So I can see it's still happening. Maybe they didn't like the way those sets sold before, so they don't choose this. But I think that as a standalone set, especially, this looks great, especially from most angles like this. So I can see them doing this. And I would, again, be a buyer. I would buy this set. I like all the texture on the roof. It's just good. It could fit in probably with the medieval vibe. Maybe it can fit in slightly off to the side of Thieves of Tortuga from the series that is now shipping. So yeah, really cool set by Brick Up. Lastly, we have the Stationery Store Pens and Papers. This kind of goes along the lines with the Art Factory of the previous series as well. From the front, it's not quite just a facade. There is some depth to it, but it does close up. So if you just wanted to have it like this and have it against the wall and it's that part of your city, I think it looks really great. You can see they do have the hinges on the middle, so it does give more depth on each side versus when it has the hinges, 2 hinges, and it opens up, into 3 pieces essentially. This is just 2 pieces. I think, and when I saw this picture, I was like, that's cool. Like, that looks cool. You can see that the middle part here is a step up, which is really cool because that means when it does slide shut, these slide underneath. And I think that's really, really unique and really cool. And then lastly, you have it folded up like this. Okay, pens and papers. This is a good side, cool little bench with the pencil. Really like that. And then on the back side, which is, I like this side more, and it's mainly because you have the scissors, the paintbrush, and all these things going on up front. But yeah, I mean, you can have it like this, or hey, we want to close it up and we want to have it fit into a city in a different way. Because that's how I look at all these: is how are people going to put these into a city? So I think that there's a great way to do this. A lot of colors, paint samples on the wall here, or fabric maybe. So yeah, all of this is really good. This is by Stephen 8D. 3,700 pieces is pretty dang big. So I would see this coming in around $320. Great set. I really like it. Again, I would buy it just like the Art Factory. I think it's really, really cool that it does shut and close, and you can slot this into a city on a 16 by 32 base plate. And if you wanted to just build it like that and not open it up, because it does modularize, so you could open it up from the top. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's completely fine to put this on a 16 by 32 base plate if you wanted to, and it would slot right into your city. So yeah, those are 13 designs I think I think they have a realistic chance of getting made. I can't say they have a really good chance, because I don't know what Lego's thinking. I think they have a realistic chance to justify why they could be made. Comment down below if there's another set that you really like, whether it's the toilet or some random other one. The only reason I don't pick the toilet is because I think about it as Lego saying, here, put this toilet on your shelf. As cool as it looks, and it looks so unique and interesting, I just don't know if they go that route. But there's a lot of other great designs, and it's just hard to pick out of all of these which ones, because I mean, whether again it's going with the California Villa, which I love, or I don't see a lighthouse, but even though the lighthouse is really cool, Inn at the Crossroads looks amazing. The Viking shipyard, on and on, amazing sets. So those are just 13 that I think have a chance, and I kind of talked about why. So yeah, comment down below if you agree, disagree, what you think. But those are just some sets I really like. So have a great rest of your weekend, and go vote if you want, and get ready for, these to start getting announced in the near future. So have a great day.